Alright, so you are free to do whatever you want. It is the start of a new act. You have a potential job offer from Altum.
I'm not initiating that conversation.
Um,
There's a creepy bug man. Um, there's stuff.
see,
There's
I
stuff
haven't
for a few people in Kleinens.
I haven't heard the job offer yet, but she mentioned it earlier. But she said, or did she talk about it to us as a group? I can't remember.
Like I just said in the intro, she would have gathered you all and explained.
That's right. Uh,
So this is presumably after she left you all to speak amongst yourselves and decide your next course of action after imparting that information.
I mean, I feel like the job offer makes most sense, but that's just me.
There's also that dude's old house in the dead city.
Yes, which she did mark for us very lovingly.
I don't think she actually named it what you have it named on the country map, but
I don't remember what I named it.
Rosenberg's Roost.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I named it. But
I just have it listed as Rosenberg's home, but I think Roost has a better ring to it.
because that's the guy that apparently got all of us together, which is curious.
And then immediately died with all the information.
Well,
Yes.
yeah,
And
Oh, hey,
correct
Charlie's home. Sorry.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Dead City like right next to the was it a military base or was it something else that the
Shadowkeep
rebels
Keep.
have yeah, like what was it beforehand? Like has it always been a keep? Is that what it is?
Shadowkeep is a detention center
Okay, that's what I thought. It was like a
and
prison.
sanitarium.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, Rosenberg's home is close to that, correct?
Shadowkeep was founded on the outskirts of the Dead City, but it's in the northwest. It's like northwest of the city, while Rosenberg's Roost is kind of west-southwest.
So I guess the decision really lies in
Here, let me just.
It'd be like walking across Manhattan.
never done it, so don't know what that means.
Oh,
It's also,
trust me.
it's also 30 miles away. And that's, not taking into account the actual roads and shit.
Do we have a vague idea of where the cavern is?
Yeah, it's marked in
Yes.
green.
Oh yes, yes, yes it is. So I guess the decision-making process hinges on, do we want to go see the cave first or Rosenberg / maybe get the staff back from Shadowkeep
Well, if we want to
first?
be,
Assuming it's still in.
I mean, that's
most,
what we were told, that it was still there. So, if someone's lying, I'm gonna hunt that little shit down.
It's also been over a month since you were told that.
Do you think that's gonna change my mind about hunting the little shit down?
we
Try
want to
me.
Probably
be
not.
most efficient with time. And I'm just saying, like, literally in terms of most efficient routing, not that we should do this. We would go to the cavern, then to the bug, then to the roost, then to Shadowfang. Because that would just take us in like a one sweep up and we hit them all once. Or alternatively, we go up the other way, do Shadowfang, roost, bug, cavern. But I don't necessarily know if we want to do those in that order.
And what specifically does Altem want us to do in the cave? Like,
Specifically, obviously, if you get down there and there's a shiny button that says, click here to purify cave,
Mm-hmm.
then do that. But she doesn't think it's going to be immediately obvious how to fix the problem, so she just wants you to scout it out, try and figure out if there's any sort of hints in there that would lead you to who exactly is responsible for this, because she only has ideas in regards to what they are, not who they are.
I know I just shat on this idea like 2 seconds ago, but I actually do really like going Shadowfang Roost Bug Cave.
Okay.
The reason being that A, if the staff is still in Shadowfang Keep, we pick that up first because that probably is important somehow. B,
Probably.
there are people there so they can tell us about anything that's happening in the dead city and what else has happened in the interim from a different perspective. 3,
Yes.
we then go to Rosenberg's Roost because he had a bunch of information, presumably, and maybe we'll find something in his old house. Then we go to the bug guy
Hopefully.
just to see what's up with him. And then we go to the cave,
Probably kill
hopefully
him.
with probably. Then we go to the cave, hopefully with all the information and tools we need to actually like make some type of measurable change.
And if not, well, we go back to Altham's, which is close.
Yes. Because we're already
With a
right
new
there.
relic that she can study,
Yes.
since we'll have the staff. Yeah, I like that plan.
We just have to walk through this creepy forest to the road.
See, but we've done that before, so
I will
We have.
say, I'm going to draw it in blue this time. There is a vague road that stretches kind of. This is a very bad representation of what's in my notes, but it stretches kind of like that, and it, has obviously a couple offshoots to various dead villages and farmsteads.
yeah.
I mean, Teo's right. We have technically gone this direction before just to get to Romhel's and Crow's Landing. So
Yeah.
it's not undoable.
Yeah. And technically, we're familiar with the route in that we've taken it once before, which is better than the first time. So it's like,
They're going to be making checks not to get lost, but the DC isn't as high.
yeah. I say we do it.
Didn't I just delete that?
I just drew it again.
Oh.
Cartographer's tools.
So what you're telling me is that this is accurate to how Q has actually like marked
Oh,
the
yeah.
map. Okay.
That's why I'm the one who's marking everything on the map.
Fair enough.
So, is it actually in there as Atlants?
Yes.
I
This is 100% correct in every way, including Los Banditos Muerto. Don't ask how Q knows any Spanish at all.
The first day it stretches on as you pass by dead trees and the occasional shell of a house. As the day begins to come to a close, the shadows seem to gather in number, and they're definitely losing their anxiety towards your light sources in a noticeable way, which leaves you with a few choices to make.
hold on.
You can attempt to travel. You can attempt to continue on until you hopefully find a place that you can easily defend over the course of the night, because you're a little bit exposed where you are currently as the sun is beginning to set. You probably have about another half hour, 45-minute of light before it's completely dark out. So, it's
Well,
entirely possible you could run into something.
well, here's the thing. I say we set up camp while there's still light. Keep it really tight knit camp because I do have something to make this work in our favor.
Can we get a better estimate to how many there are? Shadows, that is.
As they as as the sun is beginning to set, they're beginning to grow agitated and excited, sort of flipping back and forth around the edges of your light sources, which makes it a little bit harder to tell them apart. At best gauge, maybe 20 in that area.
Well, hold on. I heard 20.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Um, are we gonna set up camp or not? Because we really can't continue through the night. Setting up a
no.
campfire is probably for the best.
Yeah.
And
It is with the 20 number though, it is also kind of hard to tell because they have a habit of merging with each other and
mhm.
separating. So you're not entirely certain what bits are independent shadows and what bits are, you know how it is. They are at the point where they're pretty much just a writhing mass.
I will say, if we're setting up camp just before the sun is completely set, like when there's still like a teensy bit of light out, I'm casting this. Just to, it won't deal too much damage. But it'll give us a little bit of head start if they attack us in the night.
So, as you guys settle in for the night, incredibly anxious with the shadows beginning to gather around the edges of your campsite. Well, I mean, they're not beginning to gather, they have already gathered. Ember Lucid, you spy something odd.
Oh, great.
As these shadows are moving back and forth, they begin to they obstruct your vision slightly just through the sheer number of them at this current point in time. And behind and sort of between these shadows on occasion, as you look around, you see a figure that is definitively humanoid in comparison to the shadow's slightly amorphous figures, and also clearly armed and armored.
How far away?
A little bit indeterminate just from the sheer distance, probably anywhere between 150 to 170 feet. Q is also able to notice them when you point them out, and when the two of you are certainly looking, they begin to approach
Oh, this should be interesting.
slowly.
Hmm?
I just added a slowly.
I don't know. I feel like we wake the others for this one, yeah?
Already kicking Teo.
What? I really and truly hope there's a good reason for your very rude method of waking me up.
I've already
Shadows
left to go
might
wake up
have
Carrion.
someone.
I'm not kicking Carrion.
Alright.
Son of a bitch.
Teo, I figured you'd be curious to know that we are, in fact, being followed by someone and rather not some things.
And somehow that warrants kicking me?
That was not my idea to kick you. I just let her do what she does. Anyways, I feel like your priorities are a little mixed here.
Figure begins to. The figure by this point is definitely close enough that Q, who is by now woken up Carrion and is focused back on the gentleman, I assume, can see that the armor itself seems to. It's definitely dark. The figure definitely seems to be formed out of shadows in the same way that the shadows are, just more defined. And as it gets to the edge of the camp itself, around the barrier that the shadows have formed, it stops and stands there for a moment, assessing each of you slowly.
How long does that process take it?
It's probably going to spend probably a good like 5 seconds assessing each of you if you want to if you want to do anything in that time.
So that's about a minute total then? How many of us are there?
Half a minute. There
Oh,
are four of
right.
you.
I can't count.
I decided to leave a bed at Ultimus Tower for now.
Hmm.
Then never mind. I can't do anything.
Yeah, it would be like 20 seconds, 25 maybe.
I'm just going to have something ready in case things get hostile, but I'm not going to make any motion. I'm
Well, they're
not going to
close.
be an instigator in this. Well, they're close, but
Well, I
I'm
was just
not
gonna
going to
ask, what do
be
they look like? Is their armor
the.
anything we recognize? Does it have any symbols?
Um,
Are they wearing a
most of you
helmet?
are most of you are amnesiacs. I would say that by this point you've been around long enough that make me a history check.
Actually, I could probably do that.
Mhm.
Maybe.
All of us or
All
just
of us?
Amberlissa?
Honestly, I'd probably only I'll let all of you. Teo's the most tentative.
Sure.
I feel like that's
Amberlosa.
pretty in character.
Amberlosa, you would very much be able to recognize this as the now defunct armor of the old Glycellan military. That, I mean, it's still around, but
How old?
this particular set of armor is like old style. Like it's not the kind that you would see nowadays at all. If you had to place it at a guess, anywhere between probably around when the country was founded.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Granted, that's only like 1,000 years ago. That's like barely longer than an elven lifespan, but
That nope. That tells me a lot already. Hmm.
Not a fan of that.
You. You wouldn't happen to be lost and just looking for directions to go. Not here.
give me the heart.
Give you the what? Oh no, mine stopped beating a long time ago. I'm. Uh, what heart?
Crystal.
Who's asking?
It it turns its head to look at you and takes a few steps closer to you, Amberlosa, crossing past the line of shadows at the edge of the light and into the light proper.
I assume not quite in the range of the fucking Guardian, though.
Quite in range of the Guardian and barely in range of the light itself, but further than the shadows are willing to go.
Beautiful.
But anyways, it's going to take a few steps forward and hold out its hand to you in a sort of hand it over gesture and then say, Octamiel only asks once.
Mm,
What was that name again?
I'm not gonna spell it this time.
that's fine. I'm gonna go
I
for
will
another.
I will say it again though one more time. Octamiel only asks once.
I'm gonna do another history and see if that rings any bells for me.
Feel free.
Cause
1 second. Oh hey! The stray cat's outside. I'm sorry, I had my window open. I'm gonna DM Joe something real quick.
oh boy. Hey guys, I have fear.
I'm sure it's fine.
Be that as that may, I know very little of you and why I should even trust you.
I am not Ogtmeal. I am his enforcer. If you don't give me the heart, then I'll have to take yours.
What exactly is the importance of that name?
If you don't recognize it, then that simply makes our jobs easier, now doesn't it?
Somehow I have a feeling you're not going to be very hospitable if the answer is anything distasteful to you. Well,
I will leave. And then I will return with an army that will destroy you.
the hmm.
So what you're saying is that your current army around us could not?
If you'd like to test yourselves against them. He raises a hand halfway.
I cast Spirit Guardian right on his ass. Not much damage, but
Alright.
I felt like
Me?
taking action for once.
Give me a second.
I'm never proactive as Teo. I wanted to be active for once, man.
This like at that, and Melissa's just gonna stare at you like in surprise, not like not like judgmental surprise.
Just
Just, oh, I
surprised.
wasn't expecting that from you type of surprise.
Okay.
Which I guess once we have a map up, I can show you the exact area in which they affect.
Yep. I need to do a little bit of monologuing before I switch you over to the map real quick. Just let me finish the 2 changes I need to make. So, you obviously throw a Spirit Guardians right on top of his ass, and tiny celestial women with giant great swords do
Ooh.
a decent amount of damage. And as that happens, the shadows that were previously circling the campfire coalesce immediately, almost like a rubber band being snapped back to its
Ooh.
normal size.
Now we're going to do something kind of unique here. Here I have a dozen light sticks, and these are break and shake light sticks that last for 12 hours. Now it says on the instructions, do not puncture, cut, or bite into light stick. Now, it doesn't say don't blend the light stick. Let's turn the lights off for effect. That is a 12-hour lantern.
I don't even know if that hits. That seems pretty mediocre.
That is one higher than its AC, and that is the exact amount of damage necessary to kill it. Amberlosa, you light this thing ablaze.
Oh, its shadow's on fire. That's
Really, you more dissipated them.
No, I like my current state.
I just
I'm gonna go with that belief.
I just
But if
imagine
you
like a
want to
brief
imagine them on fire,
Balrog.
then
That is where I will go.
Just imagine the Balrog, but like with many heads and arms and things.
they both disappear into nothingness. There is unfortunately nothing to loot, but
Right. I hated that.
it does set the tone for the trip to Shadowkeep.
Was it fucking night 1?
That was night 1.
Oh god.
Is
God,
there anything you guys want to do before you settle back into the rest of the night, or are you guys gonna just go back to sleep?
So there was nothing left of the armored dude?
You can make a perception check if you want, but there's nothing blatantly obvious at first glance.
Yeah, I'll grab a burnt stick and make a perception.
Anybody else?
No, I don't care
You
enough.
Q,
I-
as you wander around with your burnt stick looking for any sign of the shadow creatures that you just faced, you actually step on it. And as you lift your foot and take a step back, you see a probably about an inch and a half by inch and a half pendant. It almost looks like that kind of like, when after somebody uses iron and like after somebody heats iron and it has that kind of like black cast to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like that, except when you rub your thumb over it, the ash that would normally come off with your thumb doesn't remove. It has a little bit of that gritty feeling to it as well. And the pendant itself is a shield with a bird emblazoned on the front of it and 2 cross daggers under the bird. The bird itself has what could be a furled scroll in its mouth.
Huh. Weird. I'll put it in my box.
You put it in the box. Could I have a perception check for the second half of your watch?
That's me, I think. Yes.
Mhm. Alright. You don't see any shadows return through the length of your watch. You wake up Carrion, go to bed, and she will wake the rest of the party with a report of no shadows that she could see. Following day is brighter and warmer. The harsh sun reflects off the snow and does very little to improve the scenery. But it's a change of pace. The end of the path leading to Altum's reaches you, and you're left with several days traveling winding old paths that haven't seen the necessary foot traffic to maintain them. This is around when I'm gonna ask you all to make a group survival check.
Would you look at that, Teo? It's sunny out for once.
Is this just survival or is this
Oh, and
navigation?
use your.
It does count as navigation, so. Quiet night bleeds into a third day, and it's somewhere in the afternoon that you would encounter a small group that's tugged a large makeshift cart off of the, well, overgrown path. But it's people.
Wait, say that again.
There
Just-
is a
just
small
like-
group of travelers that have pulled a broken cart off of the overgrown road. There are 4 of them, dressed in browns and blues, and in the cart is it's the remains of some creature with massive claws and plates overlapping into a sturdy armor. They'll spare you a few glances as you start to pass them, but won't make anything other than a vague noise of acknowledgement of your presence.
Great.
Yeah, I'm not making conversation, so.
I was gonna say I want to take a look at this monster. So you're gonna have to drag me along.
God
Which,
damn it.
if you want to, we can, and we can skip it. But I do want to take a look at this monster.
All right, is anybody going to drag Q away?
I'll attempt to.
All right, then we can keep going.
All right. Q, you do get a little bit of a look in before Teo manages to drag you away, and you manage to get a better look at its general construction. It appears to have like 6 limbs total, with the 2 massive claws and then 4 almost centaur-like insect legs.
So some type of fucked up crab?
Basically,
I was thinking
Buggy,
more
is
like a
that
fucked
you?
up scorpion,
it
but
would almost be a crab if not for the strange elongated face, almost reminiscent of a shrimp with the pink tendrils
So a
and a
fucked up
tail.
lobster?
And a tail that is almost definitively scorpion-like in nature.
So a fucked up sea scorpion?
Basically, yeah. You had to reach for that one.
I needed an aquatic animal.
And the following days see a few carts pass by, a few guards pass by, and sorry, I'm counting right now. It is the 11th day that you arrive not at Shadowkeep itself, but at the road that stretches across the river to it. Shadowkeep is an imposing structure built on an island in between the 2 Fuck. I wish I knew how to speak. It's an imposing structure that was built on an island between the two rivers that feed into the lake Epithune sits on. There are no people visible from this distance. Bridge itself, as you cross it, is well constructed but not well maintained. And when you approach the gates themselves, you wait for a long few moments before you hear a call. Request for you to state your intentions.
I'm gonna hit him back with a yoo-hoo.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh God, what was his name? I have to go through my notes again.
Oh, we want more information about the dead city because we have to go to basically ruin a house. However to describe it.
Yes, but we want to talk to
Oh, I'm already yelling about that.
Yes, I'm trying to look through my notes and try to find what the fuck is his name? Where are these in my notes? I wrote it down. I did, I promise. I'm
This is so
sorry, I
painful
just
because I know what you're looking for, but I don't. But like, I also don't know what you're looking for.
Oh, you don't know the name either?
No, I know the name, but Q doesn't know
Okay.
the name.
Ah.
Oh.
So,
This is the
Aka's
problem with
letting Blake suffer is what's happening.
this is the problem with Teo is he writes so fucking many notes and it's
he writes so much down that you can't find what you need.
yes, exactly. I remember it. In character, I know it. I just can't find it in my notes.
Well,
Seem to be in
the
distress.
guard. The guard is going to call back down a few moments after. Q's they were expecting a more succinct response.
Oh, it's not succinct.
I know.
Hold on.
It's Vincent Herschel.
It's what?
Vincent.
There it is! I found it right as you said it! Fuck! Fuck. We would like to speak to... Oh god, he's still ranked as a major in this. Major Vincent Tensel. If we can, please and thanks.
A few more moments pass after that follows up Q's explanation. Before the gate starts to, or fuck, yeah, gate, that's the word. Before the gate starts to rise. Is it a gate or a portcullis? What's the difference?
Yes.
I mean, a gate usually has doors. A portcullis usually just goes straight up and down.
Yeah, that's like the actual metal thing. It looks like a grid, basically, more or less.
Okay, then it would be a portcullis. Then the the portcullis raises, and a few moments later, a trio of guards feed out of the watchtower door and give you all a kind of slapdash. Yeah, it would be a salute before motioning you forward. You said you're here to find out more about the dead city and to speak to Henschel, correct?
If we can, yes.
Okay. If you'll just come right this way, sir. And every time you speak, they definitely look between themselves.
It's the imperial accent, isn't it?
and you are led into the courtyard. It's startlingly empty, actually. Uh, the grounds don't look like they've been heavily trod on. The snow that's lying around is still mostly untouched in most areas, other than leading to a barracks would be the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere inside is the majority of the guards are currently inside the barracks. At least it seems pretty crowded.
What's pretty critical?
The barracks.
Oh, okay.
It looks like most of the off-duty guards seem to be congregating in this building instead of just, spreading themselves out across the keep.
Mm-hmm.
And you're led to a double set of doors in the back. The right door is the one that you're led through,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an office with a very tired and a couple years older looking Vincent Henschel. At least from the brief glimpse of him you got during the strange vision that you all experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Where's his picture? Where's his that?
do I not? 1 second.
I think you put it in Discord during the vision. Like we have
Okay. I will find that art when I'm not in the middle of DMing them. Because I don't have it on hand.
How dare you? How dare
Yeah,
you?
it looks like I didn't add him to Roll20 for some reason. I guess I just forgot.
He's not that important. It's fine.
I mean, he's decently important.
He's not that important. Useless, darling.
But
He's a piece of shit.
I see we're doing an accent shuffle here.
Yeah.
Kale, you sound different.
Accent is on shuffle mode.
It's gonna be from 3 different countries by the time this is over.
Yeah, pretty much.
the the soldier's going to stand up when he sees all of you, and he's going to give you all a bow, but it's pretty overtly directed towards Q. Mostly.
I will bow
Of
back.
course.
I'll admit, I didn't actually think you were back.
I mean, everybody says that about us. Everybody seems really surprised that we're not dead.
It's just getting a little old, honestly. Well, I mean, maybe not for you. It's just getting a little old for me.
Pretty damn new to me. Thank you. You can leave them with me. The guards are going to go back to their duty, shutting the door behind you. Right. Aradia. Teo, I believe.
Yes.
And Carrion and Ambulosa.
Yes.
I know everybody else has already said it, but welcome back to life. How may I help you?
Leave that description to the marble one here.
So kind of you. was trying to learn more information about the dead city as well as staff we hopefully left in your care.
It is in the keep. It is not necessarily in my possession.
And how does that work?
Well, he's not holding it, clearly.
How much do you know about Shadowkeep Penitentiary?
Well, considering we're all amnesiacs, little to none.
You're all like total amnesiacs?
I think Radia here is the worst, but yes, more.
Well then, Shadowkeep was up until the start of the plague one of the largest prisons and sanitariums in the country. And now it is a place of respite for nobles who have been infected while they search for a cure. The fact that most of these nobles will never be able to receive a cure doesn't necessarily matter to their rich family members.
So, am I to understand these rich nobles are living the life of relative luxury in their dying days, while commoners are left to suffer?
And never mind, you don't actually remember. Yes, that is very much what's happening.
So what does that have to do with the staff?
Well, the staff is in the armory.
Meaning?
The armory is in the wing that we do not currently have access to.
Why?
That seems like poor planning.
Yes, we definitely planned for the wall to break and for undead to come crashing into the barracks in the middle of the night.
How many, by rough estimate, are we? Ballpark number?
Ballpark number, probably somewhere in the mid 50s, 60s. I'd be able to get an exact number if I had access to the office, which we don't. The problem is that when a guard is killed, they're added to the number of bodies that can be used against us.
Ah, I see.
The
So,
infection spreads.
are any of the nobles left alive, or are they?
There were a few that were simply infected and not yet succumbed to the illness, but it's been several weeks since then, and we haven't been able to maintain our usual level of care for them. So I can't say what state they're in.
Can I ask why you, as a let's put it in simple terms, as a group of rebel military, decided to help out the nobles of this country who presumably cast you out in some way or another?
I think that's most of the boys here aren't Haven military. I'm the only one.
So is it money? Is it connections? Is it resource? What even led to taking care of these people?
He gives Q a look and then looks back at Teo. It's a personal matter. But I lived in Earthall before I moved to Haven. I just moved back and rejoined my.
You know, you seem to be the second group that has divided itself from Earthhorn. Is there something in particular wrong with the city?
Other than the fact that it's rotting?
Literally or metaphorically?
Yes.
Like him. I like that answer because I know it annoys you.
Va te faire foutre.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what you're saying, but I'm
Only
sure that
something that comes from the bottom of my heart.
And the.
yeah, so it's definitely an insult.
And there are nobles who want to do right by the citizens, but the number of nobles that want to do right don't outnumber the ones who
Could give
don't.
less of a shit.
I hate to ask this as the obvious imperial citizen of the room, but is there any unity in this country of yours, or are you all just left to rot on your own?
I mean,
Is there any unity in yours?
Better question.
I mean to answer your question, Teo, I gesture to myself and give like a very mocking as fuck bow. Really? You're gonna ask that question? You already know the answer to it.
I find my distaste for glycerin grows every time you speak, Emberlosa.
Well, hopefully, at some point, it'll grow on you. Or it'll kill you.
Or it'll burn, one way
Oh,
or another.
that I can do.
I'm well aware.
Can you maybe save the lover's spot for not in my office?
Ha!
Him? No. No. No.
I don't think she's my type.
Absolutely not. This is that is not that. That's not that, is that? I don't think so.
Been like this the entire time they've known each other.
You
I am so
stop.
sorry.
I have to say, you seem more offended by this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We got off topic. Where were we again?
Getting the staff, presumably. And what is it you wanted to ask about the city, Q?
Oh, it's all sorts of things. Like,
He
both.
is going to try and interject before you could actually start to lay in on the questions that why do you call her Q, by the way?
Because she asks so many questions.
Okay.
It's
And then the
impressive,
questions
really.
start.
It's honestly quite frightening when you're on the other side of these questions. So I wish you luck.
So what are your questions, Paco/Q?
Big questions, just general layout of the city, how many people are in there, if there's anything special, like any unusual areas that we should avoid, if there are any known safe routes to the city or safer routes to the city. We have the location of that dude's house if they know a quick way to get there or somewhere near there. How often they check up on the city, and then just another general question, how long has it been abandoned, quote unquote, slash how long has it been out of service?
Well, if my microphone will pick up. Okay. The city itself has a relatively basic layout in that it's separated out into basically 4 quadrants. And the castle slash citadel is set off to the castle slash citadel itself. If we swap you over to the country map,
Woo!
yeah, would be like on the very, very far west, like basically out of the city itself. And Rosenberg's Roost is southwest of the city proper, so you could theoretically get there without really having to pass by more than farmland. He's basically the start of the city limits. Sorry. As far as the numbers, they don't know exactly how many creatures are inside the city, but it appears to mostly be a mix of infected citizens who raised a couple days after evacuation or during evacuation, and shadows, like the shadow monsters that you now at least have met before. What other questions were there? I'm sorry, I have a goldfish memory.
Mostly if there were any known routes to important locations in the city that have been used or scouted as more safe or more dangerous than just straight line or whatever.
He does, yeah, he doesn't have a map he can give you, but he can let you see a map of Epithune with some of the. They're not safe routes, but they are safer routes.
Mhm.
Most of them appear to be just traveling straight down the wider open areas. It appears to be mostly the side, like inside buildings and like down alleyways and stuff where more danger can be found.
Gotcha. And then back to the first point of who's in the city, it's so far just infected and shadow creatures, no strange aberrations that eat orphans that don't go to bed on time.
There are shadow monsters of varying shapes and sizes, and some of them could definitely eat children at night.
And then just to confirm, these shadow creatures, they're not I don't know anything about them that relates to plague, does it? Like they are something else entirely.
As far as he can tell, these shadow creatures are honestly, until you said otherwise, he pretty much figured they were contained to the area around the dead city.
They've always been here?
They When you say that, he makes a kind of so-so gesture with his hands and describes that there has been historical mythology about them, but nobody really actually started seeing them until the, well, sudden destruction of Epithune. Basically, they are a literal bedtime story come to life, at least according to the citizens of this country.
Then my only other question is if I could take a look at the armory.
Yeah, it's currently not in their control. They
Well, like, is there
have
a place I can look into it?
There are not any windows leading directly to the armory that are like looking directly into the armory itself, unfortunately. But he can get you a look at the hallway that the armory branches off of.
Okay, that's good enough.
Are the rest of you going to follow them as they creep around the edges of the keep, or
I suppose. Je suppose. Si on veut parler en français, oui.
you can definitely see boarded up and even in some cases like boarded up and then further fuck, what's the word?
Je sais pas.
Yes. They're boarded up and then they're further barricaded with like basically whatever they can find, stone, furniture.
Oh, so there are no enemies on the outside, just on the inside.
Yeah, they
Can't see
have
them.
the soldiers, as he explains as he's leading you to the window, the soldiers lost a good chunk of their men when the wall gave in. It was a structural weakness mixed with an increase in the increase in strength that the some of the infected display.
Do I know that to
And
be just a part of the plague, or is that something new?
kind of a part of the plague. It is
Okay.
displayed certain strains. I think it's just the yellow one. I would have to double check to confirm that, but make sure to text me that afterwards because you would know the answer to which strain had the increased strength.
I really am just more curious to see if that's something that could have been anticipated or if it was somebody coming in and like enhancing these undead.
It was something that could have potentially been anticipated, but it is an uncommon side effect.
Gotcha. The infected used to live here before the armory. Is there a place I can view their living quarters? Because there's probably some that are just wandering around there. They're probably not all in the armory.
Mhm. When you get to the window itself and you look through into the hallway you don't immediately see any, but as he leads you past a couple more windows, you do eventually manage to spy a small knot of them. They're very methodically working at tearing down a door. And it's strange to see them work because they definitely have this halting, they'll have a burst of speed and vigor for a few seconds and then they'll just go back to standing around in a daze for minutes.
I'll look at him and be like, "Does that door lead anywhere important?"
Um, if I had to guess, it probably leads to either a storage room or maybe the stairwell up. It's
Huh?
hard to. He gestures up towards the second floor.
What could they
Is there a window
possibly
up there?
want?
There are windows up there.
Good. Who wants to get on top of me and take a look to see if they can see if the stairwell connects up top?
I suppose that wasn't a rhetorical question.
How tall is Teo?
6 foot even.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it should be you. I'm not. Just a little bit shorter than you.
Fine, but my dislike for all of you grows with this question. You know this, right?
You're
I-
made of. If you just want to hop on my shoulders, Q.
Oh, okay. I'll hop up and take a look to see if this is a stairwell that connects to another level.
God, what a fucking simp.
You can barely get a look in through the window, standing on his shoulders the way you are. As you peek over the edge of the window, you do spy another individual. He was scratching at the door, but he appears absolutely fascinated by the sudden face that has appeared in the window.
Oh, hi. Little
And
yoo-hoo.
he begins. You hit him with a yoo-hoo?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He was previously confused, or as confused as he could be. Now he has definitely determined that you are an actual living person. And he is going to try to lunge through the window.
Oh, these windows are big enough for people? This is a horrible prison.
No, big enough for like an arm. They're like they're the tall thin windows, you know?
Oh, gotcha.
Mhm. So like he could like, brace himself and like, wiggle his arm out through the window, which is what he is trying to do. And he's trying to grab at you with it. So, dexterity versus or just a grapple check, I guess. Okay, that is a definitive failure. So,
I would like to grab his
uh,
arm.
all right.
Oh!
I would
All
also like
right
to
then.
break his arm off and bring it back down with me.
Okay, I will let you do that with a nat 20 versus his 6 after mod.
Teo, hold on to this.
Do you really hand this to me?
Yeah, I just drop it. I just sort of toss it at you.
Because remember, she's standing on its shoulders.
Yeah.
So an arm is falling out of the sky.
An arm is falling from like 6 feet above you.
Goddess, give me patience.
I'm gonna wait for him to see if he can stick his other arm through.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna try because he's not that smart.
I wonder why.
Oh, this one's not as good.
But it still beats a nat 1.
Oh boy.
So he blindly flails at you, and I'm very disappointed in his behavior.
I mean, I guess he did just lose an arm.
Are you going to do anything in return, or is he going to get another round?
I'll try to grab him back. Oh my god.
Oh, you.
At least this is me
All
grabbing
right.
him.
Q is having a slap fight with a
With a zombie.
This is the worst zombie fight I've ever been in.
Could you roll one last, or probably gonna be one last grapple check? Yeah, that is actually a success. It was a good roll.
Wait, so who's holding on to who right now?
Well, with an 18 versus your 12, he is now holding on to you. And he is going to attempt to pull your arm through the hole this time. But he can't actually take a chunk out of you because he uses action to grapple, so you get to do something.
Is my arm actually through the hole yet, or is his arm sticking out the window?
I'll say you're at the midpoint. Your hands are meeting in the window.
I'm gonna tell Herschel to let go. To step out from under me.
He's going to ask you to repeat yourself.
I want him to step out from under me because I don't know if this zombie can hold 300 pounds of weight with one arm.
he will step out from under you. And the zombie's gonna make a yikes. Nope, the zombie's arm is off.
And I'm on the ground.
And you are on the ground. You take 1 bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
I feel like we're watching a very bad comedy, Amberlosa.
I mean, it was entertaining.
Was it? Was it really?
I mean, it's entertaining for me. You're holding the arm. I'm just a spectator here.
I'm trying not to think about this arm.
The arm twitches. No, literally.
Oh, whoa, that's new.
Would it be beneficial or a negative thing to burn it?
Oh, I'm keeping this.
I'm
I'm gonna take it back to Vanessa. I am going to
You're
collect
going
my
to
2
keep-
arms.
You're going to keep an arm with you on our way back to Vanessa, which could take upwards of a month.
I mean, if he gets too rotten, I'll just throw it out like everything else.
This is probably the first time, because Amberlos is not phased by much, but if Teo pays attention just a little bit, her eye might be twitching in a tiny bit of disgust.
Q,
And Cho looks unfazed.
sometimes I'm not entirely sure that you're a person.
Start like
Ironically
poking.
enough, this is probably the most normal thing she's done all day.
Does Vincent actually say that?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. Okay, now we have to backtrack. Is this a thing that's always been a thing, or is this a new thing after
She's
the
always been attracted to trouble.
My head hurts.
This makes more sense. So the trouble thing is an old thing and not a new thing post amnesiac thing.
Thing else is a new thing, but the trouble thing is definitely an old thing.
Oh,
Old thing, new thing, I hate all of these things.
Oh, that's not new though.
oh my goodness, I am writing that down in my journal. I think Q just insulted you to some degree.
What? It's true.
Oh, look at that, 2 tallies.
I don't think there's enough wine in the.
What? Teo doesn't like anyone, and nobody except for Temperance really likes him. And me. I like you, Teo.
That's
Gonna
2
give you a
people
hug.
and the whole absolute.
You give me a hug?
Yeah, but I'm still holding like the 2 zombie arms like over my shoulder.
Merci beaucoup. C'est vraiment, vraiment, vraiment gentil.
Gonna pat you on the arm and go, putain!
Oui, putain, putain de bordel. Va te faire foutre.
Are there any other places you want to see? They generally tend to congregate the most in the
Anywhere they
words.
congregate for a prolonged period of time or consistently, I would like to see.
All right. Because I can't remember the actual name of it, other than it's not a foyer. It's a fucking lobby. That's the word. The lobby definitely does seem to have the most individuals milling around it, and it also is where you see the most signs of like conflict, for lack of a better term.
More or less,
Shattered.
can you give me a number on how many people?
In there currently, there
Yeah.
are 12 individuals, and they're just milling about shattered armor and overturned furniture, occasionally grabbing at something to try and see if there's anything left in it.
Well, I'm gonna hang out here for a bit.
Can I ask Vincent if this is their whole force?
That is most decidedly not their whole force.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
What is your strength, dex, con, AC? Just can you give them to me in order so I can
Sure.
look at them in comparison?
So strength 18,
Inferior.
dex 14,
Inferior.
Hmm.
con 14.
Superior.
AC 19 right now. Well,
Inferior.
yeah. Current
Good enough.
HP 66.
Inferior.
Class or fighter levels, if applicable.
Not applicable for any of the ones that you're currently looking at, unfortunately.
Figures.
Oh boy.
That is good news, but wasn't expecting anything there really.
Yep. You, like I said, you spot they mostly seem to be moving in jerky stop-start motions. They don't actually appear like these ones down here don't actually appear to notice you until 3 minutes in, and the remaining minute is what gives you the majority of your information on their strength, dexterity, and constitution, etc.
I like the implication.
They are pawing pretty fucking frantically at the window that you're currently looking in through. One of them does manage. I mean, a couple of them manage to stick their hand through, but one of them looks like it actually might be able to get the entire upper half of its body through simply by virtue of it not caring about any damage it inflicts on itself.
Love that.
But
Love
it
that.
is ultimately unsuccessful.
Okay. And he said that they broke through the barracks wall. I take it the barracks is similarly boarded up.
Yeah, if you can. Looking at the courtyard itself, it looks like the building is basically two wings with like it's kind of like a U shape.
This is
The
this is a horrible way to ask it, but I know you're going to understand what I'm saying. Is it like the Blue Palace?
kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? Did
That's
we
what I
just get
meant.
into
Nobody else is gonna
well,
know what Zaz and I are.
did we just get into fucking Elder Scrolls?
Yeah, it's actually the Blue Palace would actually be a great way of describing it.
Are you serious? Are you for real right now?
Blake, you act like you didn't just devote like a good 3 weeks of your life to that game.
Shut the fuck up.
So yeah, if it's like basically a U shape, up until recently they had controls of, again, I'm simplifying this by a lot. They essentially had control over two of the legs, or two of the sides, and they lost control of the second side when one of the walls broke through. Because this is like I said, this is a well-constructed keep, but it is a very old keep and not a very well-maintained one. Henschel, after asking around and trying to get a more accurate number of the everything that happened numbers of nobles and stuff, eventually decides on what he thinks is a pretty accurate estimate of probably around in the mid 40s for infected nobles and then somewhere in the 20s for infected guards in terms of total numbers.
Out of curiosity, why did you even bother pretending to put the nobles up instead of just putting them down?
Do you have any idea what they would do to us if they found out that we killed their kids, brothers, parents? Even if they were already dead, they're not going to understand that. They think they
Mm.
can throw enough money at it and we'll just fix it for them. Listen, if you want to go in there and just burn the building down, honestly, at this point, I won't stop you.
You won't.
You didn't hear that officially, obviously.
So if I go back, will I be able to see the vast majority of this crowd of undesirable
If you...
equation?
Q, are you still up near the window? Or...
Yeah, if I wouldn't have had to, if nobody's actively grabbing me against it, I'd probably just be standing at a safe distance.
Alright. Then you can join Q over by the window. Your sight is partially blocked by somebody who really wants to, take a few bites out of Q, but...
Get out of my way. I need to at least see what I'm working with here. So I realize you're dead and probably have had a very shitty last 24 hours of your life, but you could maybe move aside while I count how many of you are here? Oh, God. No? Please get out of the way. Oh, wow. I think I can hit Q.
Um, you definitely can't... You see, it's an arrow slit window. You may only be standing like 15 feet away, but it's a thin window, okay? It's not that weird that you missed. You hit like the second story.
Just gonna kind of like shout over my shoulder. How attached are you to this particular area?
Didn't I just say that I would not be terribly pleased if I had to be reassigned? Or I would not be terribly displeased if I had to be reassigned?
I was mainly asking for secondary affirmation and to make yourself feel comfortable. Would you look at that? I'm being a little selfless. Right.
Get on with it.
Fine.
Oh!
Oh boy.
Holy shit, clear fucking backblast.
um,
Just as far back as I can put it in that room without it. Like,
the
enough for it's far back to where it can hit the ones kind of coming at you, but not enough to overstep its bounds.
the small flash of light soars over the head of the infected individual that is currently sticking their arm through the window. A few moments pass before the inevitable sound of a fireball going off in the middle of the building ring out across the courtyard. Flames lick through the arrow slit window, and the zombies that you see are absolutely incinerated. Only two of them would have missed the blast. And saving throw did not matter.
Right, so the rest of you can deal with this now, or?
Truly a hero.
I mean, I didn't see you do anything about it.
Would you like me to?
By all means, I wouldn't want you to feel left out.
How many of you even? I doubt my participation even matters at this point.
Well, I'm sure it'll make you feel better.
God, they're such a fucking divorced couple.
Henschel is going to look over at Q and point at the two of them and just... He's gonna motion for you to join him a ways away from the three of them, counting Carrion.
Okay.
I mean this in the most polite way possible. Why are you traveling with them?
Well, we all woke up together on this big battlefield where it was very cold, and then we went to this little village to try to kill us, and we go on and on and on.
It's starting from the beginning to the end. I see where this is
Oh,
going.
Jesus Christ. Have mercy.
He'll stop you pretty much the moment he realizes this isn't a 30-second summary. I more meant, why are you still traveling with them while they are so like that?
I'm gonna give him a look, and it's weird. I didn't recognize it before, which I normally recognize things right away, but have we met before? Have I seen you before?
Yes, we knew each other pretty well, actually.
I remember I was lying down. I needed to go to sleep?
Is there anything else?
That well, I mean, you were there. That's where the only place I can remember you.
Well, maybe that means your memory could return after some time. Maybe it's just temporary. We met a couple times as kids, and then we worked together in the years leading up to the event where we thought you died. You were actually my direct superior.
In what?
The Haven Militia. He's looking he's looking a little bit uncomfortable right now, to be honest, with the fact that you clearly don't remember anything.
Met as kids. He used to live in Earthall. He has red hair. He's not the person from the first stream, but does he look like them?
It's hard to tell. There are possible similarities, but you're not sure if it's coincidental or not.
Gotcha.
Mostly just a similar nose and jawline. If there's anything you want to know, though, I would be happy to share after all this. He gestures towards Emberless and Teo's argument after all this is over.
Okay. We weren't fiancés, were we?
No. No.
Well, it's always good to check. Everybody else has met their fiancé, and I thought it was a common thing, but I think it might actually be fairly unusual.
I think that's just this group thing.
Feel like I just got insulted here.
You haven't met you aren't one of the people who has met their fiance since the start of the campaign.
I wonder the fuck why.
I wonder the fuck why.